Hello, friend. You've arrived here in this moment, and that's exactly where you're meant to be. Tonight, we're going to take a gentle journey together, not through miles or minutes, but through time and space themselves. The vast, quiet universe that holds us all. There's no need to think too hard, no need to remember everything. Just listen, breathe, let your mind float. And as we move through these ideas together, let them wash over you like waves, soft, steady, and calm. Let's begin. Imagine you're standing still, and time is a gentle river flowing past you at its own pace. Now imagine you begin to move, not walking, not running, but moving so fast you approach the speed of light itself. Something extraordinary happens. Time for you begins to slow down. This isn't science fiction. It's a real phenomenon discovered by Albert Einstein, called time dilation. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. If you could travel on a spaceship near the speed of light, and you journeyed for what felt like a year when you returned to Earth, decades might have passed. Your friends would be older. The world would have changed. But for you, only a year would have gone by. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? But it's true. Time is not fixed. It bends. It stretches. It flows differently depending on how fast you're moving. So, in a way, time is like a soft fabric, flexible, responsive, alive. And right now, as you lie still, time is moving at its natural pace for you. There's no rush. There's nowhere else to be. Just here, just now. Take a breath and feel yourself settling deeper into this moment. Feel the weight of your body against whatever surface holds you. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Time is being kind to you tonight. It's moving slowly, patiently, giving you all the space you need to rest. Let's travel, just for a moment, to another world. Venus, the second planet from the Sun, our neighbor in the solar system. Venus is often called Earth's twin because it's almost the same size. But in many ways, it's a world turned inside out. Here's something beautiful and strange. Venus spins so slowly on its axis that it takes longer for Venus to complete one full rotation, one day, than it does for Venus to orbit the Sun 1 year. A single day on Venus lasts about 243 Earth days. But a year on Venus? Only 225 Earth days. So if you lived on Venus, you would celebrate a new year before you even finished a single day. Time, you see, is not the same everywhere. Each world has its own rhythm, its own heartbeat. On Venus, the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, because Venus rotates backward compared to most planets. Slowly, patiently, as if it's savoring every moment. Perhaps there's a lesson in that. Sometimes it's okay to move slowly, to let a day unfold in its own time. You don't have to rush. The universe certainly doesn't. Picture Venus now, wrapped in thick clouds of sulfuric acid, turning so slowly beneath its blanket of atmosphere. The pressure on its surface is crushing, the temperature hot enough to melt lead. And yet, it turns, it orbits, it continues its ancient dance around the sun. Even in the harshest conditions, time moves forward, gentle, inevitable, patient. And here you are, safe and comfortable, with all the time in the world to simply be. Now, let your mind expand outward, beyond Venus, beyond our solar system, into the vast ocean of space. Look up at the night sky, or imagine it if you can't see it now. Every point of light you see is a star, and every star is a time capsule. Light takes time to travel. It moves fast, the fastest thing in the universe. But space is so incredibly large, that even light needs time to cross it. When you look at the North Star, Polaris, you're seeing light that left that star over 400 years ago. You're not seeing it as it is now. You're seeing it as it was centuries ago, during the time of Shakespeare and Galileo. Some stars you see may not even exist anymore. They might have burned out, collapsed, or exploded long ago, but their light is still traveling toward you, crossing the darkness, carrying the memory of what once was. In this way, the night sky is a history book, a living record of the past, written in light. And you, right now, are part of that same cosmic story. The light from our sun takes about 8 minutes to reach Earth. So when you feel the warmth of sunlight on your skin, you're feeling a warmth that left the sun 8 minutes ago. You are always, in a sense, living in the past of the universe. And that's okay, because the past is woven into the present, and the present is always gently becoming the future. Everything is connected. Everything unfolds. Rest in that. Think about this for a moment. When you look at the moon, you're seeing it as it was 1.25 seconds ago. When you look at Mars at its closest approach to Earth, you're seeing it as it was about 3 minutes ago. When you look at Jupiter, you're seeing it as it was 40 minutes to an hour ago, depending on where Earth and Jupiter are in their orbits. The further out you look, the further back in time you're seeing. The Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest large galactic neighbor, is so far away that its light takes 2.5 million years to reach us. When you look at Andromeda, you're seeing it as it was when our earliest human ancestors were just beginning to walk upright on the plains of Africa. You are, in this very moment, a time traveler. Your eyes are receiving ancient light, light that has been traveling through the void for longer than human civilization has existed. And somehow, impossibly, beautifully, that light has found its way to you. Across all that distance, across all that time, it made the journey just to reach your eyes, just so you could witness it, just so you could know that the universe is vast and old and filled with light. Let that thought fill you with wonder, with peace. You are connected to distant stars by threads of light. You are part of a cosmic conversation that spans billions of years. And tonight, as you rest, that conversation continues, whether you're awake to hear it or not. Here's a strange and beautiful thought. There is no single universal now. When you think of the present moment, this moment, right now, you might imagine that everyone, everywhere in the universe is experiencing the same now as you. But that's not quite true. Because of the way time and space are intertwined, what counts as now depends on where you are and how fast you're moving. This is part of Einstein's theory of relativity. Time is relative. It's not absolute. Imagine two people far apart in space, moving at different speeds. They would disagree about which events are happening now and which happened before or after. There is no cosmic clock ticking in sync across the universe. Instead, time is personal, local, intimate. Your now is yours. And in some ways, that makes this moment even more precious. No one else in the universe is experiencing exactly this moment the way you are. This breath, this heartbeat, this quiet second, it's yours alone. So be here, fully, gently. You are living something unrepeatable. Think about what this means. Somewhere in the universe, on a planet orbiting a distant star, if there are beings there experiencing their own version of now, their now might be completely different from yours. Events you consider past might be present for them. Events you consider present might be future for them. Reality itself is not a single solid thing. It's layered, multifaceted, dependent on perspective. And your perspective, your unique point of view in space and time, is valid. It's real. It matters. You don't need to see things the way anyone else does. You don't need to experience time the way anyone else does. Your journey through time is your own. And right now, in your own personal now, you have permission to slow down, to let go, to drift. Because this moment, your moment, is a gift. Let's turn our attention to matter itself, the stuff you're made of, the stuff around you, the stars and planets and galaxies. Here's the thing. Most of it is nothing. Not in a sad or lonely way, but in a spacious, open, peaceful way. Atoms, the building blocks of everything, are almost entirely empty space. If you could zoom in on a single atom, you'd find a tiny nucleus at the center, surrounded by a cloud of electrons. But the distance between the nucleus and the electrons is enormous, relatively speaking. If the nucleus of an atom were the size of a marble, the nearest electron would be about half a mile away. Everything in between, empty. So the bed you're resting on, the ground beneath you, even your own body, they're mostly space. Vast, open, quiet space, held together by invisible forces. In fact, if you removed all the empty space from every atom in every human being on Earth, the entire human race would fit into a volume about the size of a sugar cube. Isn't that astonishing? You are, in a very real sense, mostly space, mostly openness. And perhaps that's why it feels so natural to let go, to relax, to stop holding on so tightly. You're already spacious, already expansive. There's room inside you for breath, for peace, for rest. Think about what this means for a moment. The atoms in your body are ancient. They were forged in the hearts of stars billions of years ago. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, all the elements that make up your body, they didn't exist at the beginning of the universe. They were created inside stars through nuclear fusion, and when those stars exploded in supernovas, they scattered those elements across space. Those atoms drifted through the cosmos for eons. They became part of nebulas, clouds of gas and dust. They condensed into new stars, new planets. They became part of the Earth. They became part of water, air, rock, soil. And eventually, they became part of you. The iron in your blood was forged in a dying star. The calcium in your bones was created in a stellar explosion. The oxygen you breathe was born in the furnace of ancient suns. You are made of stardust, literally. And most of that stardust is empty space. You are a collection of ancient atoms held together by forces we barely understand, creating the illusion of solidity, of permanence. But underneath it all, you are space. You are openness. You are possibility. And tonight, you can rest in that spaciousness. You can let yourself expand. You can let yourself be held by the very emptiness that makes up most of existence. There's nothing to hold on to, nothing to grasp, just space, just openness, just peace. Let's drift now into deeper waters, into the nature of time itself. We're used to thinking of time as having a beginning, the Big Bang, roughly 13.8 billion years ago, when the universe as we know it began. But some scientists and philosophers wonder, did time itself begin then? Or was there something before? The truth is, we don't know. Some theories suggest that time is cyclical, that the universe expands and contracts over and over in an eternal rhythm. Others suggest that time might be just one thread in a larger fabric, a dimension among many, woven into a reality we can't fully see. What we do know is this. Time, as we experience it, flows in one direction, from past to future, from memory to possibility. But at the quantum level, at the smallest scales of reality, time behaves strangely. Particles can exist in multiple states at once. Cause and effect can blur. Maybe time is not a straight line. Maybe it's more like an ocean, deep, layered, moving in currents we don't fully understand. And maybe that's okay. Maybe we don't need to understand everything. Maybe it's enough to know that we are here, now, floating in this moment, held by something vast and mysterious. You don't have to figure it all out tonight. You can just be. Consider this. Before the Big Bang, there may have been no space, no time, no matter, no energy. Nothing as we understand it. And yet, somehow, from that nothing, everything emerged. The entire universe, with all its galaxies and stars and planets and life, sprang into existence from a point smaller than an atom. How is that possible? We don't fully know, but it happened. It's happening. The universe exists. You exist. And that fact alone, that you are here, experiencing this moment, is perhaps the most miraculous thing of all. You are the universe becoming aware of itself. You are atoms that have organized themselves into a pattern complex enough to contemplate its own existence. You are, in a very real sense, the universe looking back at itself in wonder. And as you drift towards sleep, you can rest in that mystery. You don't need to solve it. You don't need to understand it completely. You can simply be part of it. A small, precious, unrepeatable part of something infinite. Even as you lie here, still and quiet, the universe is moving. Not just spinning or orbiting, but expanding. The space between galaxies is growing, stretching, like dough rising in an oven or a balloon being gently inflated. This expansion began with the Big Bang, and it hasn't stopped. In fact, it's speeding up. Scientists call this force dark energy, though we don't fully understand what it is. We just know it's there, quietly pushing the universe outward, making space itself grow larger. One day, billions of years from now, galaxies will be so far apart that beings in distant galaxies won't be able to see each other anymore. The universe will become a lonelier place, in a sense. Each galaxy an island in an ever-growing sea of darkness. But for now, we're still close enough to see each other, to feel the light of distant stars, to know we're part of something interconnected. And even as the universe expands, even as space stretches and grows, there's a kind of comfort in it. The universe is still unfolding, still becoming, and so are you. You are not finished. You are not static. You are part of this great expansion, this slow and endless blooming. And that means there's always room for change, for growth, for new beginnings, even in rest, even in stillness. Think about the scale of this expansion. Every second, the universe grows larger by millions of miles. Galaxies are receding from each other at speeds that would seem impossible by our everyday standards. And yet, here on Earth, held together by gravity, we don't feel this expansion. We're bound together, the Earth and the Moon, the Sun and its planets, our galaxy with its hundreds of billions of stars. Gravity holds us close, even as the universe expands around us. You are held. You are safe. You are part of a system that knows how to stay together. Even as everything expands, even as the universe grows larger and older and colder, there are forces that keep things connected, that keep stars in their orbits, that keep planets spinning, that keep you grounded. You don't have to worry about drifting away. You don't have to hold yourself together. The universe knows how to do that. It's been doing it for billions of years. You can relax. You can let go. You can trust that you'll still be here when you wake up. The expansion will continue. The universe will keep growing, and you will keep being you, held safely by forces older than time. Let's return to gravity for a moment. That invisible force that keeps your feet on the ground, that holds the Earth in orbit around the Sun. Gravity doesn't just pull on objects, it pulls on time. The stronger the gravitational field, the slower time moves. This means that time runs slightly faster on the top of a mountain than it does at sea level. The difference is tiny, only fractions of a second over a lifetime. But it's real, it's measurable. Near a black hole, where gravity is unimaginably strong, time slows down dramatically. If you could hover near the edge of a black hole and then return to Earth, you'd find that much more time had passed here than for you. Hours for you might be years for the rest of us. It sounds like magic, but it's physics. Time is not separate from space. They are woven together into what scientists call space-time, a fabric that can be bent, stretched, and warped by matter and energy. And here's the beautiful part. This means that time is not a prison. It's not rigid or unyielding. It's flexible, responsive, part of a living cosmos that shifts and changes. You are not trapped in time. You are moving through it, riding its currents, held by its gentle pull. And right now, in this moment, time is exactly what you need it to be. Slow, soft, kind. Let it hold you. Imagine standing next to a black hole, safely far enough away that you won't be pulled in, but close enough to feel the intense gravity. Time around you would slow to a crawl compared to time in the rest of the universe. If you stayed there for what felt like an hour and then somehow returned home, you might find that years had passed. Your family would be older. The world would have changed. But for you, only an hour. Black holes are among the strangest objects in the universe. They're places where gravity has become so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape. They're tears in the fabric of space-time itself. At the center of most galaxies, including our own Milky Way, there's a supermassive black hole. Ours is called Sagittarius, a star, and it's millions of times more massive than our Sun. It sits there, quietly, at the heart of our galaxy, holding everything together through its immense gravity. You are orbiting a black hole right now. Not closely, we're thousands of light years away, safe and sound. But the Milky Way itself is rotating around that central point, and you're part of that grand rotation. You're moving through space at incredible speeds, orbiting the center of the galaxy, even as the galaxy itself moves through space, even as you lie perfectly still. You are always in motion, always traveling, always part of this cosmic dance. And yet, you can be still. You can rest. You can close your eyes and feel completely motionless. That's the gift of relative motion. That's the gift of your particular frame of reference. In your world right now, you are still. And that's all that matters. There's a place in the universe called the cosmic microwave background. It's not a place you can visit, but rather a kind of glow that fills all of space. This glow is the oldest light in the universe. It's the afterglow of the Big Bang itself. About 380,000 years after the universe began, it had cooled enough for light to travel freely through space. Before that, the universe was so hot and dense that light couldn't move. It was trapped, scattered by particles in a dense fog. But when the universe cooled, light was released. And that light has been traveling through space ever since. Today, that ancient light has been stretched by the expansion of the universe. It's no longer visible light. It's become microwave radiation, invisible to our eyes, but detectable by sensitive instruments. When scientists study this cosmic microwave background, they're looking at a baby picture of the universe. They're seeing what the cosmos looked like 13.8 billion years ago in its infancy. And that ancient light is everywhere. It fills the space between galaxies. It passes through your room right now. Ancient photons, witnesses to the birth of everything, gently moving through the darkness. You are bathed in the light of creation itself. Even now, as you rest, you are surrounded by the oldest light in existence. It's invisible to you, but it's there. A constant reminder that you are part of a story that began long before you were born and will continue long after you're gone. And that's okay. That's beautiful. You are a brief, brilliant moment in an eternal unfolding. A note in an endless song. And your note matters. Your moment matters. Even if it's small, even if it's quiet, it's part of the music. Let's talk about something called quantum entanglement. It's one of the strangest phenomena in physics, so strange that even Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. Here's how it works. When two particles become entangled, they become connected in a deep, fundamental way. No matter how far apart they are, even if they're on opposite sides of the universe, they remain connected. If you measure one particle and find it spinning in a certain direction, the other particle will instantly be found spinning in the opposite direction, not because information traveled between them, but because they're part of a single quantum system. They're not really separate. They're two parts of one whole. This happens instantly, faster than light could travel between them. It doesn't violate the laws of physics, because no information is actually being transmitted. But it does show us that the universe is more connected than we might think. Particles that were once together, that shared a moment of interaction, remain linked across space and time. In a way, you're like that too. Every interaction you've ever had with another person, every moment you've shared, has created a kind of entanglement. Not quantum, perhaps, but emotional, spiritual, real. You carry pieces of everyone you've ever met, and they carry pieces of you. You are not isolated. You are not alone. You are entangled with the world, connected by invisible threads to everyone and everything you've ever touched. And tonight, as you drift towards sleep, you can rest in that connection. You can feel the invisible web that holds you gently to the rest of existence. You are part of a larger whole. You always have been, and you always will be. There's a theory, and it's just a theory, that our universe might not be the only one. The multiverse hypothesis suggests that there could be many universes, perhaps infinite universes, each with its own laws of physics, its own history, its own version of reality. In some of these universes, the laws of nature might be completely different. Gravity might be stronger or weaker. Time might flow differently. Stars might not form at all. In others, things might be almost identical to our universe, with only small differences. Perhaps in one universe, you chose a different career. In another, you live in a different city. In yet another, you never existed at all. We don't know if the multiverse is real. We may never know. It might be impossible to prove, because by definition, other universes would be completely separate from ours. But it's a humbling thought, isn't it? To imagine that everything we know, the entire observable universe with its hundreds of billions of galaxies, might be just one bubble in an infinite foam of universes. If that's true, then our problems, our worries, our small concerns, they become even smaller. Not in a way that makes them meaningless, but in a way that puts them in perspective. Your struggles are real. Your feelings are valid. Your life matters. But you don't have to carry the weight of everything. You don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to understand every mystery. You can let the multiverse, if it exists, take care of itself. You can focus on this universe, this moment, this breath. That's enough. That's more than enough. Let's journey to one of the most extreme objects in the universe, neutron stars. When a massive star runs out of fuel and explodes in a supernova, its core can collapse into an incredibly dense object. So dense that a teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh about 1 billion tons. A neutron star is typically only about 12 miles across, roughly the size of a small city, but it contains more mass than our entire sun. The gravity on a neutron star is so strong that if you tried to stand on its surface, you'd be instantly crushed into a layer of atoms just 1 atom thick. Time would slow down noticeably. Light would be bent by the intense gravitational field. The star's magnetic field would be trillions of times stronger than Earth's. Some neutron stars spin hundreds of times per second, sending out beams of radiation like cosmic lighthouses. We call these pulsars. They spin with such incredible precision that they rival atomic clocks. Some pulsars are so regular that scientists use them to test theories of gravity and time. These objects are violent, extreme, almost incomprehensible, and yet they exist. The universe makes room for them. The universe contains extremes you can barely imagine. Temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, pressures that would crush mountains, speeds approaching the speed of light. And it also contains this moment, this quiet, gentle moment where you lie in comfort and safety. The universe is large enough for both, for violence and peace, for extremes and gentleness, for neutron stars and for you. You don't have to be extreme to matter. You don't have to burn like a star or spin like a pulsar. You can be soft. You can be quiet. You can rest. And you'll still be part of the universe, still valuable, still necessary. The cosmos needs both the loud and the quiet, the bright and the dark, the fast and the still. And right now, it needs you to rest. There's something strange happening in the universe, something scientists call the Great Attractor. Far beyond our galaxy, hundreds of millions of light years away, there's a region of space toward which thousands of galaxies, including our own, are being pulled. We can't see it directly. It's hidden behind the plane of the Milky Way, obscured by dust and stars. But we can see its effect. We can measure how galaxies are moving, and they're all moving toward this mysterious concentration of mass. Whatever it is, it's massive. It contains the mass of tens of thousands of galaxies, and it's pulling everything nearby toward it, like water circling a drain. But don't worry, this is happening on such an enormous scale, and so slowly, that it won't affect you or Earth or even the solar system in any meaningful way. It's just one more reminder that the universe is full of mysteries, full of things we haven't fully explained, full of wonders we're only beginning to understand. And that's okay. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to have all the answers. You can live with mystery. You can rest in not knowing. The universe has been here for 13.8 billion years, and it's gotten along just fine without you understanding every detail. It will continue, whether you understand it or not. So tonight, you can let go of the need to know, the need to understand, the need to figure everything out. You can simply be here, breathing, resting, trusting that the universe knows what it's doing, even if you don't. Let's think about speed for a moment. How fast are you moving right now? You might say you're not moving at all. You're lying still, resting, stationary. But that's not quite true. The Earth is spinning on its axis at about 1,000 miles per hour at the equator. You're moving with it, rotating through space. The Earth is also orbiting the Sun at about 67,000 miles per hour. You're moving with it, circling our star once every year. The Sun itself is moving through the Milky Way galaxy at about 500,000 miles per hour. And the galaxy itself is moving through space at over 1 million miles per hour. So even as you lie perfectly still, you're actually moving through space at incredible speeds. Speeds that would seem impossible by everyday standards. And yet, you feel none of it, because everything around you is moving with you. Your frame of reference is shared by everything nearby. You are stationary relative to your environment. And that's what matters. This is one of the beautiful principles of relativity. There's no such thing as absolute motion. All motion is relative. You're not really moving or not moving. It depends on your perspective. And from your perspective right now, you are still. You are calm. You are at rest. And that's the only perspective that matters for you in this moment. Let the universe spin around you. Let the galaxies rush through space. Let the Earth carry you through the cosmos. You can be still. You can rest. The universe will handle the motion for you. There's a phenomenon called Hawking radiation, named after the physicist Stephen Hawking, who predicted it. Black holes, as we've discussed, are objects with gravity so strong that nothing can escape, not even light. But Hawking realized something strange. Black holes can actually evaporate. At the very edge of a black hole, at what we call the event horizon, quantum effects can cause particles to appear in pairs. Usually, these pairs annihilate each other instantly. But at the event horizon, sometimes one particle falls into the black hole while the other escapes. From the outside, it looks like the black hole is emitting radiation. And over time, incredibly long periods of time, this radiation causes the black hole to lose mass. Eventually, after trillions upon trillions of years, even the largest black holes will evaporate completely. This means that nothing in the universe is truly permanent. Even black holes, the most extreme and powerful objects we know of, eventually fade away. Everything changes. Everything transforms. Everything returns in some form to the universe. And there's something comforting in that, isn't there? Nothing lasts forever. Not problems, not pain, not even black holes. Everything is temporary. Everything is in flux. And that includes whatever you're carrying with you tonight. Whatever worries or fears or thoughts that won't let you rest. They're not permanent. They're not forever. Like everything else in the universe, they will change. They will transform. They will fade. And eventually, you'll find yourself in a different place, a different moment, carrying different things. So you don't have to hold on so tightly. You can let things shift. You can let things change. You can trust the process of transformation that runs through everything in existence. From stars to black holes, to thoughts in your mind. Everything changes. Everything flows. Let yourself flow with it. Let's talk about light for a moment. We've discussed how it travels, how it carries information from the past. But what is light, really? Light is both a wave and a particle. It has properties of both depending on how you look at it. This is called wave-particle duality, and it's one of the fundamental mysteries of quantum physics. When you're not looking at light, when you're not measuring it, it behaves like a wave, spreading out, interfering with itself, existing in multiple states at once. But when you do measure it, when you observe it, it behaves like a particle, a discrete packet of energy called a photon. The act of observation changes what light is. This might sound bizarre, and it is. It suggests that reality at its most fundamental level is not fixed. It's not solid. It's responsive to observation, to consciousness, to attention. In a very real sense, you help create the reality you observe. Now, this doesn't mean you can change the world just by thinking about it. Physics doesn't work that way, at least not on the scale of everyday life. But it does mean that you're not separate from the universe. You're not just a passive observer watching things happen. You're a participant, an active part of the system. Your attention matters. Your observation matters. The universe, in some small but real way, is different because you're in it. And tonight, as you rest, you can know that you matter. Not in some abstract philosophical way, but in a real, physical, measurable way. The universe needs observers. It needs consciousness. It needs beings like you to look up at the stars and wonder. Without observation, without consciousness, what would the universe even be? You are how the universe experiences itself, and that makes you precious beyond measure. There's a concept in physics called entropy. It's a measure of disorder, of randomness, of how spread out energy is in a system. The second law of thermodynamics states that entropy always increases. Things move from order to disorder, from organization to chaos. A sandcastle on a beach will eventually be worn away by waves. A hot cup of coffee will cool down, spreading its heat into the surrounding air. Stars burn out. Galaxies disperse. Everything in the universe is slowly, inevitably, moving toward a state of maximum entropy, a state sometimes called heat death, where all energy is evenly distributed and nothing can happen anymore. This will take trillions upon trillions of years. The universe has plenty of time left. But it's happening, slowly, gently, inevitably. And yet, within this general trend toward disorder, pockets of order appear. Stars form from clouds of gas. Planets coalesce from dust. Life emerges and becomes complex. You are a pocket of order in a universe trending toward disorder. Your body is constantly working to maintain its organization, to fight against entropy, to keep you alive and functioning. And when you sleep, your body continues this work. It repairs cells. It consolidates memories. It restores order. Sleep is your defense against entropy. It's how you maintain yourself in the face of the universe's general trend toward chaos. So, rest. Let your body do what it knows how to do. Let it restore order. Let it heal. You don't have to fight entropy consciously. Your body knows how. All you have to do is rest and trust the process. Let's imagine, just for a moment, what happens inside a black hole. We don't really know. The laws of physics, as we understand them, break down at the singularity, the infinitely dense point at the center of a black hole. But we can imagine. As you fall toward a black hole, time begins to behave strangely. From the perspective of someone watching from outside, you would appear to slow down as you approached the event horizon. You'd become redder as your light was stretched, and eventually you'd appear to freeze at the horizon, never quite crossing it. But from your perspective, you'd fall right through. Time would feel normal to you. You wouldn't notice anything special at the event horizon. But as you fell further, you'd notice something else. The gravity at your feet would be stronger than the gravity at your head, because your feet are closer to the singularity. This difference in gravity would stretch you, longer and longer, like spaghetti. Scientists call this spaghettification. Eventually, if the black hole was small enough, you'd be torn apart by the tidal forces, stretched into a stream of atoms falling toward the center. At the singularity itself, all bets are off. Space and time cease to have meaning. Everything is compressed to infinite density. We don't know what happens then. Some scientists think you might pass through into another universe. Others think you'd simply cease to exist in any meaningful way. But here's the thing. You're not falling into a black hole tonight. You're safe. You're comfortable. You're lying in a place of your choosing, surrounded by familiar things. The universe can contain extremes you can barely imagine, and it also contains this moment of perfect safety. You don't have to worry about black holes. You don't have to worry about spaghettification or singularities. You can simply rest, knowing that while the universe contains dangers, it also contains sanctuary. And you're in a sanctuary right now. Let's think about the moon for a moment, our closest celestial companion. The moon is slowly drifting away from Earth. Every year it moves about 1.5 inches further away. This is happening because of the tides. The moon's gravity creates tidal bulges in Earth's oceans, and as the Earth rotates beneath these bulges, friction is created. This friction slows down Earth's rotation very slightly, and the energy from that slowdown is transferred to the moon, pushing it into a higher orbit. Billions of years ago, the moon was much closer. Days were much shorter, perhaps only 10 hours long. The tides were much more extreme. And billions of years in the future, the moon will be much further away. Days will be longer. The tides will be calmer. Eventually, in the very distant future, the moon will be so far away that it will no longer appear to move in Earth's sky. It will be tidally locked at a distance, always in the same position relative to Earth. But that won't happen for billions of years. For now, the moon is still our companion, still orbiting, still creating tides, still lighting up the night sky. The moon has been with Earth for over 4 billion years. It's seen continents form and erode. It's seen life emerge from the oceans and spread across the land. It's seen everything that has ever happened on Earth. And every night, it's there, a silent witness, a constant companion, reflecting the light of the sun back to us. You've probably looked up at the moon hundreds of times in your life, and every time you do, you're connected to billions of years of history. You're seeing the same sight that early humans saw, that dinosaurs saw, that the first simple life forms might have seen if they had eyes to see it. The moon is a reminder of continuity, of constancy, of the long, slow rhythms of the cosmos. And tonight, whether you can see it or not, it's there, orbiting, pulling at the oceans, lighting up the darkness, a quiet companion, watching over you as you sleep. There's a particle that barely interacts with anything. It's called a neutrino. Neutrinos are produced in enormous numbers by the sun and by other stars. Every second, trillions of neutrinos pass through your body. They're so small and so weakly interacting that they pass right through you, through the Earth, through everything. Almost nothing stops them. A neutrino could travel through a light year of solid lead and have only a 50% chance of hitting anything. They're like ghosts, barely there, barely affecting anything. And yet, they're real. They have mass, though very little. They travel at nearly the speed of light, and they carry information about the nuclear reactions happening in the cores of stars. By detecting neutrinos from the Sun, scientists can see what's happening at the Sun's core, deep beneath its visible surface. They can watch nuclear fusion in action. Right now, as you rest, you're being bathed in neutrinos from the Sun, even though it's night. The neutrinos pass through the Earth as if it weren't there, streaming through you from below. You're transparent to neutrinos. They see through you as if you don't exist. And there's something freeing about that, isn't there? To know that you're porous, that things pass through you, that you don't have to hold on to everything, that you don't have to block everything. You can let things pass. Let them flow through you and out again. Thoughts, feelings, worries, they don't have to stick. They can be like neutrinos passing through without leaving a trace. You don't have to hold on to everything. You don't have to keep everything inside. You can let things pass, let things flow, and in the morning, you'll still be you, unchanged, unharmed, ready to greet a new day. There's a moment in the history of the universe that scientists call recombination. It happened about 380,000 years after the Big Bang. Before this moment, the universe was so hot that electrons couldn't stay bound to atomic nuclei. Everything was plasma, a sea of charged particles. Light couldn't travel freely because it kept scattering off the charged particles. The universe was opaque, like a thick fog. But as the universe expanded and cooled, it reached a temperature where electrons could finally bind to nuclei, forming the first neutral atoms. And suddenly, light could travel. The universe became transparent. This is the moment that created the cosmic microwave background we talked about earlier. The first light that could travel freely through space. In a sense, this was the moment the universe opened its eyes. Before recombination, the universe couldn't see itself. Light was trapped, scattered, unable to carry information. After recombination, light could travel across space, and the universe became observable. If there had been eyes to see, they could have seen for the first time. And in a way, your birth was like that too. A moment of becoming transparent, of opening, of light beginning to flow. Before you were born, you were contained, held, surrounded by warmth and darkness. And then you emerged into light, into space, into a world you could observe. That moment changed everything for you. It was your personal recombination. And every morning when you wake, you experience a small version of that. You emerge from the darkness of sleep into the light of awareness. You open your eyes, light floods in, and you can see again. It's a small miracle, repeated every day, and tomorrow you'll experience it again. You'll wake, you'll open your eyes, you'll return to the world of light. But for now, it's okay to rest in darkness. It's okay to be held. It's okay to let light wait until morning. Darkness is not the enemy. It's just the other half of the cycle. Rest in it. Let it hold you. Light will return when it's time. Let's talk about something called dark matter and dark energy. Together, they make up about 95% of the universe. Dark matter is matter that doesn't emit light. We can't see it directly, but we can see its effects. Galaxies rotate faster than they should based on the visible matter alone. Something invisible must be there, providing extra gravity. We call it dark matter, and we don't know what it is. It doesn't interact with light. It doesn't interact with normal matter except through gravity. It's invisible, intangible, mysterious, and yet it's everywhere. It holds galaxies together. It shapes the structure of the universe. Dark energy is even stranger. It's a force that pushes space apart, causing the universe to expand faster and faster. We don't know what it is. We just know it's there, woven into the fabric of space itself. Together, dark matter and dark energy make up most of the universe, and we barely understand them. Everything we can see, all the stars and planets and galaxies, all the light and matter we know about, it's only about 5% of what exists. 95% of the universe is invisible to us, and yet the universe works just fine. Galaxies form, stars shine, planets orbit, life emerges. The universe doesn't need us to understand it in order to function, and in a way, that's a relief, isn't it? You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to see the invisible or explain the inexplicable. The universe keeps the vast majority of itself hidden, and it's okay with that. You can be okay with mystery too, with not knowing, with accepting that some things are beyond your understanding. You don't have to figure everything out tonight. You can rest in the 95% of things you don't know and trust that it's okay. The universe is comfortable with mystery. You can be too. Imagine a world where time moves backward. In our universe, we remember the past and anticipate the future. Causes come before effects. Eggs break but don't unbreak. We age but don't unage. But at the most fundamental level, the laws of physics are time symmetric. They work equally well forward or backward in time. If you watched a video of two particles colliding, you couldn't tell if the video was playing forward or backward. The physics would be the same. So why does time seem to flow in only one direction for us? The answer has to do with entropy, that measure of disorder we talked about earlier. Entropy increases over time. Things move from order to disorder, and our perception of time is tied to this increase. We remember the past because our brains store information about states of lower entropy. We can't remember the future because it hasn't been determined yet, because the increase in entropy hasn't happened yet. But in principle, if entropy could decrease, if things could move from disorder to order, time could flow backward. In some quantum systems, time does seem to flow backward, at least briefly. Particles can behave as if they're remembering the future and forgetting the past. It's strange, it's counterintuitive, and it reminds us that time, that thing we think we understand so well, is actually deeply mysterious. You experience time in one direction, from past to future, from memory to anticipation. But the universe, at its deepest level, doesn't necessarily care which direction time flows. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like time is moving too fast or too slow, remember that time itself is more flexible than it seems. It's not a prison. It's not a track you're locked onto. It's a dimension you're moving through, and the universe has ways of moving through it that you don't fully understand. Trust that time, like everything else, is more mysterious and more forgiving than it appears. Let's think about the future of the universe for a moment. We've talked about how the universe is expanding and how that expansion is accelerating. If this continues, and most scientists think it will, the universe will keep spreading out, becoming larger and colder and emptier. Stars will run out of fuel. New stars will stop forming because the gas needed to make them will be too spread out. Galaxies will dim and fade. Black holes will evaporate through Hawking radiation. Eventually, in the unimaginably distant future, perhaps 10 to the 100 years from now, the universe will reach a state called heat death. Everything will be at the same temperature. No energy will flow. No changes will occur. The universe will be dark, cold, and still. This sounds bleak, doesn't it? But it's so far in the future that it's almost meaningless. 10 to the 100 years is a number so large it's hard to even conceptualize. For comparison, the universe is only about 10 to the 10th years old now. You have plenty of time. The universe has plenty of time. And who knows, maybe something unexpected will happen. Maybe our understanding of physics is incomplete. Maybe there are cycles we don't know about. Maybe new universes will be born from the ashes of the old. We don't know. We can't know. But what we do know is that right now the universe is vibrant. Stars are forming. Planets are orbiting. Life is flourishing. Right now, in this moment, the universe is alive with possibility. And so are you. You don't need to worry about the heat death of the universe. You don't need to mourn an ending that's trillions upon trillions of years away. You can focus on now, on this moment, on this breath. The future will take care of itself. And for now, the universe is warm and bright and full of wonder. And so is your life if you let it be. There's a question that philosophers and scientists have asked for centuries. Why is there something instead of nothing? Why does the universe exist at all? We don't have a definitive answer. Maybe we never will. Some say the universe had to exist because of quantum fluctuations in a primordial vacuum. Others say it's a brute fact that needs no explanation. Still others point to God or some creative force beyond our understanding. We don't know, but we do know this. The universe does exist. You exist. And that existence, however it came to be, is precious. You didn't ask to be born. You didn't choose to exist. And yet, here you are, a conscious being, capable of thought and feeling and wonder. You are the universe's way of knowing itself. And even if your existence is temporary, even if you're just a brief flicker in the vast span of cosmic time, that flicker matters. Every moment of consciousness is valuable. Every experience is unrepeatable. Every life is significant. You matter, not because you're permanent, not because you're large or powerful or important in some cosmic scheme. You matter because you are, and being is enough. You don't have to earn your existence. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to prove your worth. You exist, and that alone makes you part of the universe's story. A small part, yes, but a necessary part. The universe is what it is because you're in it. And tonight, as you rest, you can know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Existing, being, resting. That's enough. That's more than enough. Let's drift for a moment into the concept of now. The present moment. This instant you're experiencing. How long is now? How long does the present last? A second? A fraction of a second? An infinitesimal moment between past and future. Neuroscientists have studied this. They found that your brain takes a small amount of time to process information. What you experience as now is actually a thin slice of the very recent past, assembled by your brain into a coherent moment. Your now is about 2 to 3 seconds long. That's the window of time your brain integrates into a single experience of the present. So when you listen to music, when someone speaks to you, when you watch the world unfold, your brain is constantly creating a moving window of now, sliding forward through time, assembling sensory information into a seamless experience. The present moment is not a point. It's a duration, a gentle window, always moving, always incorporating the fresh new past into your awareness. And right now, in this moment, your window of now contains these words, this breath, the feeling of rest spreading through your body. That's all that exists for you. Just this gentle sliding window of awareness. The past is memory. The future is imagination. But this is real. This is where you live. And it's peaceful here, isn't it? In the now, in this soft, accepting present. You don't have to worry about what was or what will be. You can simply rest in what is. This moment, this breath, this gentle floating feeling as you drift towards sleep. Now is enough. Now is everything. And now is always here, always available, always ready to hold you. There's a strange phenomenon in quantum mechanics called quantum tunneling. In the everyday world, if you throw a ball at a wall, it bounces back. The ball doesn't have enough energy to pass through the solid wall. But at the quantum level, particles don't follow these rules strictly. An electron facing a barrier it shouldn't be able to cross sometimes does cross it. It tunnels through, appearing on the other side without having traveled through the space in between. It's as if you threw a ball at a wall, and occasionally, randomly, it passed straight through and appeared on the other side. This sounds impossible, but it happens all the time at the quantum scale. In fact, it's essential for many processes, including nuclear fusion in the Sun. The Sun shines because of quantum tunneling. Hydrogen nuclei in the Sun's core don't have quite enough energy to overcome the electromagnetic repulsion between them. But through quantum tunneling, they occasionally get close enough to fuse, releasing enormous amounts of energy. Without quantum tunneling, the Sun wouldn't shine, stars wouldn't burn, the universe would be dark and cold. So you owe your existence to this strange quantum phenomenon, to the fact that particles can sometimes do the impossible. And there's a metaphor here, isn't there? Sometimes in life, you face barriers that seem insurmountable, walls that appear too solid, too high, too thick. And usually, yes, you have to find a way around them or through them with great effort. But sometimes, occasionally, mysteriously, you find yourself on the other side without knowing quite how you got there. The impossible becomes possible. The barrier disappears. You tunnel through. You don't always need to understand how. You don't always need to plan the perfect route. Sometimes the universe has ways of getting you where you need to be. Ways that don't make logical sense. Ways that seem impossible until they happen. Trust that. Trust the quantum uncertainty of existence. Trust that barriers are not always as solid as they seem. And tonight, let yourself tunnel through into sleep. Let yourself pass from waking to dreaming without effort, without struggle. Just drift through the barrier, gently, naturally, impossibly, like a particle in a quantum world, appearing where you need to be. Let's talk about the speed of light for a moment. We've mentioned it several times, but let's really think about what it means. Light travels at about 186,000 miles per second. In 1 second, light could travel around the Earth's equator 7.5 times. It's the fastest thing in the universe. Nothing with mass can reach the speed of light. As you accelerate, you gain energy, and that energy becomes mass, making it harder and harder to accelerate further. To reach the speed of light would require infinite energy. It's impossible. Light itself moves at this speed because photons have no mass. They're pure energy, moving at the universe's speed limit. And here's something beautiful. The speed of light is constant. It's the same for everyone, regardless of how fast they're moving. If you're standing still and you measure the speed of a beam of light, you'll get 186,000 miles per second. If you're on a spaceship traveling at half the speed of light, and you measure the speed of that same beam of light, you'll still get 186,000 miles per second. It doesn't matter how fast you're moving. Light always moves at the same speed relative to you. This seems impossible. If you're moving toward a beam of light, shouldn't it appear to be moving faster? And if you're moving away from it, shouldn't it appear slower? But no. Light's speed is absolute. It's woven into the fabric of space-time itself. And this constancy, this unchanging speed, is what makes time dilation and length contraction possible. It's what makes relativity work. The universe has a speed limit, and that limit is fundamental to the nature of reality itself. In your life, there are no such absolute limits. No fixed speeds you must maintain. No universal constants you must obey. You can move at your own pace. Fast when you need to. Slow when you want to. There's no cosmic speed limit for human experience. No rule that says you must accomplish certain things by certain times. You can take your time. You can rest when you're tired. You can move slowly through life, savoring each moment. The universe has its speed limit, but you don't need one. So tonight, move at the speed of rest, at the speed of sleep, at the speed of gentle, unhurried drifting. There's nowhere you need to be quickly. No race you need to win. Just slow down. Slower, slower still, until you're barely moving at all. Until you're just floating, suspended in the gentle current of time. That's the perfect speed for now. Imagine a clock in space, far from any source of gravity, floating in the void between galaxies. Now imagine an identical clock on Earth, sitting on your bedside table. These two clocks would tick at different rates. The one in space would run slightly faster than the one on Earth. This is because Earth's gravity warps space-time. Time runs slower in a gravitational field. The difference is tiny. Over the course of a year, the clock on Earth would fall behind the clock in space by only a few microseconds. But the difference is real. It's measurable. And it's been confirmed by incredibly precise atomic clocks. In fact, GPS satellites have to account for this effect. They orbit high above Earth where gravity is weaker, so their clocks run slightly faster than clocks on the ground. If we didn't correct for this time dilation, GPS systems would accumulate errors and become useless within hours. So the phone in your pocket, the navigation system in your car, they all rely on understanding how gravity affects time. You're living with the practical applications of Einstein's relativity every day, even if you don't think about it. And what does this mean for you, lying here, resting? It means that time is not your enemy. Time is not a rigid taskmaster. Time is flexible, responsive, part of a larger fabric that bends and flows. You have more time than you think, because time itself is not fixed. And in a very real sense, by resting, by being still, you're letting time move at its natural pace for you. You're not fighting it. You're not trying to speed it up or slow it down. You're just being with it, moving through it at the gentle rate that gravity and motion dictate. And that's peaceful. That's restful. Time is on your side. It's holding you, just like gravity holds you to the earth. Trust it. Rest in it. Let it carry you through the night. Let's travel to the edge of the observable universe. The observable universe is the part of the universe we can see. It's limited by the speed of light and the age of the universe. Light from objects more than about 46 billion light-years away hasn't had time to reach us yet, so we can't see beyond that distance. That's the edge of the observable universe. Not the edge of the universe itself, which might be infinite, but the edge of what we can observe. At that edge, we see galaxies as they were nearly 14 billion years ago, just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. We're looking back in time, seeing the universe in its infancy. Those ancient galaxies are still out there, somewhere, much older now. But their light from the present hasn't reached us yet. It won't reach us for billions more years. In fact, because of the universe's expansion, we'll never see what those galaxies look like now. The space between us and them is expanding faster than light can cross it. There are parts of the universe we will never, ever be able to see. Not because they're hidden or blocked, but because the geometry of space-time itself prevents the light from reaching us. There are galaxies out there, perhaps teeming with life, with civilizations, with beings looking up at their own night skies and wondering if they're alone. And we'll never know about them. They'll never know about us. The universe is vaster than we can ever explore, ever observe, ever comprehend. And that's okay. You don't need to see everything. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to reach the edge of the universe. You just need to be here, in this small corner of space, in this brief moment of time. And that's enough. Your observable universe is much smaller than the cosmic one. It's the world you can see, the people you can touch, the experiences you can have. And within that small sphere, there's infinite richness, infinite complexity, infinite beauty. You don't need to expand your universe tonight. You don't need to reach beyond your limits. You can rest in the small, perfect sphere of your own experience. That's enough. That's everything. There's a type of star called a white dwarf. It's what will eventually become of our sun, billions of years from now. When a star like the sun runs out of hydrogen fuel, it expands into a red giant, then sheds its outer layers and collapses into a white dwarf. A white dwarf is incredibly dense. It's about the size of Earth, but it contains about as much mass as the sun. That means a teaspoon of white dwarf material would weigh about 5 tons. The pressure inside a white dwarf is so immense that atoms are crushed. Electrons are squeezed into spaces they wouldn't normally occupy. The star is held up not by heat and nuclear fusion, but by quantum mechanical pressure, something called electron degeneracy pressure. This pressure can support the star against gravity, but only up to a point. If a white dwarf gains too much mass, the pressure can't hold anymore, and the star collapses further, potentially triggering a supernova. White dwarfs cool slowly over billions of years. They fade from white to yellow to red to brown, eventually becoming black dwarfs, cold, dark cinders in space. But the universe isn't old enough yet for any black dwarfs to exist. Even the oldest white dwarfs are still glowing faintly. Our sun will become a white dwarf in about 5 billion years. It will shine faintly for trillions of years after that, slowly cooling, slowly fading, a monument to what once was. But that's so far in the future that it's almost meaningless. For now, the sun is young, vibrant, steady. It will shine reliably for billions more years, warming the earth, sustaining life. You are living in the golden age of the sun, in the prime of its life. And you too are in your own moment, your own golden age, whatever age you are. You don't need to worry about the distant future, about cooling down, about fading away. That's so far off, so unimaginably far. Right now, you're here, you're warm, you're alive, and that's all that matters. The future will take care of itself. The sun will burn, you will live. And when the time comes for rest, for cooling, for gentle fading, that will be okay too. But not tonight. Tonight, you're still glowing, still warm, still here. And you can rest in that warmth, knowing that it will last as long as it needs to. Let's think about the concept of simultaneity again, but in a different way. When you look at the night sky, you're not seeing everything as it is now. You're seeing a patchwork of different moments in time. The moon, 1¼ seconds ago. The sun, 8 minutes ago. The nearest star, over 4 years ago. Distant galaxies, millions or billions of years ago. Your view of the universe is a collage of different times, all assembled into a single picture by your eyes and brain. In a sense, there's no such thing as the universe as it is now. There's only the universe as you observe it, a collection of light from different moments, all arriving at your eyes at this moment. Thou, present moment for the universe, doesn't exist as a single unified thing. It exists only in fragments, in pieces of information traveling toward you at the speed of light. Your now is unique. It's a specific collection of light and information that only you are receiving in exactly this way. Someone on the other side of Earth is experiencing a slightly different now. Someone on Mars would experience a very different now. Someone in another galaxy would experience a completely different now. The universe is not synchronized. There's no master clock, no universal now. There's only your now. And it's precious because it's yours alone. No one else will ever experience the exact same collection of moments that you're experiencing right now. You are the center of your own universe, not in an egotistical way, but in a simple, factual, relativistic way. Your perspective is unique. Your experience is unrepeatable. And right now, in your unique, personal, unrepeatable now, you are safe, you are comfortable, you are drifting towards sleep. This moment belongs to you. Treasure it. Rest in it. There's a phenomenon called gravitational waves. They're ripples in the fabric of space-time itself, caused by massive objects accelerating. When two black holes orbit each other and eventually collide, they create gravitational waves that spread out across the universe at the speed of light. These waves are incredibly faint by the time they reach Earth. They stretch and squeeze space by less than the width of an atomic nucleus. But scientists have built detectors sensitive enough to measure them. In 2015, the LIGO Observatory detected gravitational waves for the first time, confirming a prediction Einstein made 100 years earlier. When you detect a gravitational wave, you're not seeing light from a distant event. You're feeling space-time itself ripple and shake from something that happened millions or billions of years ago. You're feeling the geometry of reality shift ever so slightly. Gravitational waves pass through everything. Through Earth, through you, constantly. Most are too weak to detect, but they're there, carrying information about violent cosmic events. In a very real sense, you are being gently massaged by the universe. Space-time itself is flexing around you, responding to distant collisions, distant orbits, distant accelerations. You are not separate from space. You're embedded in it, part of it. And space is not empty or inert. It's active, dynamic, constantly responding to the matter and energy within it. You are held by something living, something responsive, something that connects you to every massive object in the universe. And tonight, you can rest in that connection. You can feel, perhaps not consciously, but truly, the gentle vibrations of space-time passing through you. The universe is touching you, holding you, connecting you to everything else. You are not alone. You are not isolated. You are woven into the fabric of existence itself. And that fabric is strong enough to hold you, gentle enough to let you rest. There's a beautiful concept in physics called the anthropic principle. It observes that the universe seems remarkably fine-tuned for life. The fundamental constants of nature, things like the strength of gravity, the charge of an electron, the mass of a proton, they all have values that allow for stars, planets, chemistry, and ultimately life. If any of these constants were even slightly different, the universe would be a very different place. Stars might not form, atoms might not be stable, chemistry might not be possible. And yet, here we are, living in a universe that seems almost designed for us. Why? There are different explanations. Some say it's just luck. Some say there are many universes with different constants, and we happen to live in one that allows for life. Others see it as evidence of design or purpose. We don't know which explanation is correct. But we do know this. You are here because the universe is the way it is. Every fundamental constant, every law of physics, every property of matter and energy, they all conspired, intentionally or not, to make your existence possible. The universe, in some sense, had to be this way for you to be here. And that's profound. You are not an accident. Or if you are, you're an accident that required the entire universe to be calibrated precisely. You are the product of billions of years of cosmic evolution, of stars forming and dying, of elements being forged and scattered, of planets coalescing, of chemistry becoming biology, of life becoming complex, of consciousness emerging. All of that, the entire history of the cosmos, led to this moment. To you, lying here, breathing, thinking, resting. You are the universe's gift to itself, a way for existence to experience itself, to know itself, to appreciate itself. And tonight, as you rest, you can know that you belong here. You're not an intruder in the cosmos. You're not out of place. You are exactly where you're meant to be, because the universe made a place for you. It fine-tuned itself across billions of years to allow for your existence. And that makes you precious beyond words. Rest in that knowledge. Rest in that belonging. You are home. You've always been home. The universe is your home, and it wants you to rest. Let's talk about something called cosmic inflation. It's a theory about what happened in the very first moments after the Big Bang. In the tiniest fraction of a second after the universe began, smaller than you can imagine, something like a trillionth of a trillionth of a trillionth of a second, the universe expanded enormously. It grew from smaller than an atom to about the size of a grapefruit, all in that infinitesimal instant. This inflation smoothed out the universe, explaining why it looks roughly the same in all directions. And it set the stage for everything that came after. The universe we see today, with all its structure and complexity, is the result of tiny quantum fluctuations during inflation, stretched out to enormous sizes. Every galaxy, every star, every planet, every atom in your body can trace its origins back to those first moments, to that incredible expansion. You are the descendant of inflation, of that first rapid cosmic growth. And there's something beautiful in that. The universe started small and grew. It expanded. It spread out. It became vast. And you're part of that same process. You started small as a single cell and grew. You expanded. You became complex. You're following the same pattern as the universe itself. Growth, expansion, increasing complexity. And just as the universe still expands, still grows, still changes, so do you. You're not finished. You're not static. You're still becoming. And that means there's always room for change, for growth, for new possibilities. Even in rest, even in sleep, your body grows and repairs and changes. You are a microcosm of the universe, a small-scale reflection of cosmic processes. And tonight, as you rest, you can trust the process, trust the growth, trust the expansion. The universe knows how to unfold, and so do you. There's a particle accelerator in Switzerland called the Large Hadron Collider. It's the largest machine ever built, a ring 17 miles in circumference buried underground. Scientists use it to smash particles together at nearly the speed of light, recreating conditions similar to those just after the Big Bang. By studying what happens in these collisions, they learn about the fundamental building blocks of reality. In 2012, scientists at the LHC discovered the Higgs boson, a particle that gives other particles mass. Without the Higgs field permeating all of space, particles would have no mass. They'd all travel at the speed of light, and atoms couldn't form. Matter as we know it wouldn't exist. The Higgs boson is why you have mass, why you have weight, why you're held by gravity. It's why the universe has structure, why there are galaxies and stars and planets, and you. Finding the Higgs boson confirmed a theory that had been proposed decades earlier. It was the last missing piece of the standard model of particle physics. And it's still mysterious. Scientists are still studying it, trying to understand its properties, trying to figure out if there are more particles yet to be discovered. The universe still has secrets, still has mysteries waiting to be uncovered. And that's exciting. That's hopeful. We don't know everything. We're still learning, still discovering, still pushing the boundaries of knowledge. And you're part of that same journey. You're still learning, still discovering, still figuring things out. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to understand everything about yourself or your life. You're a work in progress, just like our understanding of the universe. And that's okay. That's beautiful. There's still so much to discover about the cosmos and about yourself. But not tonight. Tonight is for rest, not for discovery. Tonight, you can set aside the questions, the seeking, the striving. You can just be, just rest, just sleep. The mysteries will still be there tomorrow, waiting for you, inviting you to explore. But for now, let them wait. Let's think about the seasons on Earth. The gentle cycle of spring, summer, autumn, winter. These seasons exist because Earth's axis is tilted. As Earth orbits the Sun, different parts of the planet receive more or less direct sunlight. When your hemisphere tilts toward the Sun, it's summer. When it tilts away, it's winter. This tilt is the result of a cosmic accident billions of years ago. A massive object, perhaps another planet, collided with the young Earth, knocking it off its vertical axis. That same collision also created the Moon, as debris from the impact coalesced in orbit around Earth. So the seasons and the moon itself are both results of violence, of catastrophe, of cosmic chaos. And yet, from that chaos came something beautiful. The seasons give us variety, change, rhythm. The moon gives us tides, stabilizes Earth's rotation, lights up the night sky. From destruction came creation. From chaos came order. And there's a pattern there, isn't there? A pattern that runs through the universe and through life. Sometimes things fall apart. Sometimes there's collision, destruction, upheaval. And it's painful. It's chaotic. It's frightening. But from that destruction, new things can emerge. New patterns, new possibilities. The seasons remind us that change is natural, that life moves in cycles, that endings are also beginnings. Winter gives way to spring. Darkness gives way to light. Sleep gives way to waking. Everything is temporary. Everything transforms. And you too move through seasons, through cycles of growth and rest, of activity and stillness, of waking and sleeping. Right now, you're in a season of rest, a season of night, a season of gentle darkness. And that's okay. That's necessary. That's part of the cycle. Spring will come again. Light will return. But for now, rest in winter. Rest in night. Rest in the gentle, necessary darkness. It won't last forever. But it's here now. And it has its own beauty, its own purpose. Let it hold you. Let it soothe you. Let it prepare you for the next cycle, the next season, the next beginning. There's a star called Betelgeuse in the constellation Orion. It's a red supergiant, one of the largest stars visible to the naked eye. Betelgeuse is dying. It's nearing the end of its life, and someday, perhaps soon in cosmic terms, it will explode in a supernova. When it does, it will briefly outshine the entire galaxy. It will be visible in daylight. It will be one of the most spectacular astronomical events in human history. But we don't know when it will happen. It could be tomorrow, or it could be 100,000 years from now. In fact, it might have already happened. Betelgeuse is about 650 light-years away, so we're seeing it as it was 650 years ago. It could have exploded centuries ago, and the light from that explosion is still traveling toward us, hasn't reached us yet. Somewhere in the dark space between Betelgeuse and Earth, there might be a wave of light carrying the news of the star's death, racing toward us at 186,000 miles per second. And when it arrives, when we see it, it will be a moment of cosmic magnificence. But the star itself, the actual Betelgeuse, will already be gone, transformed, scattered across space, its atoms destined to become part of new stars, new planets, maybe even new life. Nothing in the universe lasts forever. Even stars die. And when they do, they don't simply disappear. They transform. They give their substance back to the universe. They become the raw material for new creations. You too will transform one day. Your body will return to the earth. Your atoms will scatter and become part of other things. And that's okay. That's natural. That's part of the cosmic cycle. You're not permanent. Nothing is. But that doesn't make you less valuable. It makes you more precious, more worth cherishing. This moment, right now, is fleeting. It will never come again. And that makes it beautiful. You are here now, alive now, aware now, and someday you'll transform into something else, and that will be okay too. But for now, just be here. Just rest. Just appreciate the gift of existence, temporary though it may be. You are stardust, temporarily assembled into the shape of you. And one day, you'll return to being stardust again. But tonight, you're you. And that's enough. That's everything. Let's drift back to Earth for a moment, to the ground beneath you, the planet that holds you. Earth is about 4.5 billion years old. It formed from a disk of dust and gas orbiting the young sun. At first, Earth was a molten hellscape, constantly bombarded by asteroids and comets. There was no atmosphere, no water, no life. But slowly, over millions of years, it cooled. Water vapor condensed into oceans. An atmosphere formed. The surface solidified into rock. And then, somehow, life began. We don't know exactly how. Maybe in volcanic vents at the bottom of the ocean. Maybe in shallow tidal pools. Maybe brought here on comets. But about 3.5 billion years ago, the first simple cells appeared. And life has been here ever since, evolving, diversifying, becoming more complex. You are the descendant of that first life. Every living thing on Earth, from bacteria to blue whales, from mushrooms to humans, shares a common ancestor. You are related to everything alive. You share DNA with trees, with insects, with fish. You are part of a single, vast, interconnected family of life. And life has survived. Everything the universe has thrown at it. Asteroid impacts, ice ages, volcanic eruptions, mass extinctions. 5 times in Earth's history, more than half of all species went extinct. And yet, life persisted. It recovered. It flourished again. Life is resilient. Life is stubborn. Life finds a way. And you are life. You are the current expression of a process that has continued unbroken for 3.5 billion years. You carry within you the legacy of survival, the legacy of persistence, the legacy of life's refusal to give up. And that means you're stronger than you think, more resilient than you know. You come from a long line of survivors. Every one of your ancestors, stretching back billions of years, survived long enough to reproduce. Not one of them failed. And you're here because of that. Because life, your life, is the culmination of an unbroken chain of survival. So trust yourself. Trust your body. Trust your ability to endure, to recover, to persist. And tonight, let your body do what it's been doing for billions of years. Let it rest, let it restore, let it prepare for another day. Life knows how to continue. And you are life. You'll be okay. You always have been. There's a place in the universe where time stops. The event horizon of a black hole. We've talked about black holes before, but let's think about this specifically. The event horizon is the boundary around a black hole beyond which nothing can escape. If you were to watch someone fall toward a black hole, you'd see something strange happen as they approached the event horizon. They would appear to slow down. Their movements would become sluggish. The light from them would become redder and dimmer. And as they reached the event horizon, they would appear to freeze, suspended forever at the boundary, never quite crossing it. Time, from your perspective, would stop for them at the event horizon. But from their perspective, they would cross the horizon normally, falling onward toward the singularity. Time doesn't stop for them. It stops for you, watching from outside. This is another example of the relativity of time. There's no universal clock. Time flows differently in different places, under different conditions. Near a black hole, time becomes so warped, so distorted, that it can appear to stop altogether. And in a way, that's what sleep is like, isn't it? When you're awake, time seems to flow normally. Seconds tick by. Minutes pass. You're aware of time's passage. But when you sleep, when you drift into deep unconsciousness, time disappears. Hours can pass in what feels like an instant. You cross the event horizon into sleep, and time stops for you. You disappear from the waking world, suspended in a place where time doesn't pass in the same way. And when you wake, you emerge again, and time resumes. So let yourself cross that boundary. Let yourself fall into sleep. Let time stop for a while. You'll emerge again when you're ready, rested, restored, and time will be waiting for you, patient and gentle, ready to flow again when you return. Let's end now with one final thought. A thought about connection. Everything in the universe is connected, not just metaphorically, but physically, causally, really. Every atom in your body was forged in a star. Every breath you take contains atoms that were once part of dinosaurs, of ancient forests, of other humans long dead. The light you see comes from the sun, which came from the collapse of an earlier generation of stars. The ground beneath you is made of rock that was once stardust, now coalesced into a planet. You are made of the universe, and the universe is made of you. There's no separation, no boundary, no distinct line where you end and the cosmos begins. You are not in the universe. You are the universe. A small part of it, yes, but not separate, not isolated, not alone. Every thought you think is a cosmic event. Every feeling you feel is the universe experiencing itself. Every breath you take is the cosmos breathing. And every time you rest, every time you sleep, the universe is resting with you. You are not alone in this. You never have been. The atoms in your left hand came from a different star than the atoms in your right hand. You are literally made of stars, plural, different stars. And those stars were connected to other stars, which were connected to galaxies, which were connected to the fabric of space-time itself. Everything touches everything. Everything influences everything. And you, right here, right now, are part of that infinite web of connection. You matter. Your existence ripples outward in ways you can't see, can't measure, can't fully comprehend. But it's real. You are connected to everything, and everything is connected to you. So rest now, knowing that you're held by something larger than yourself, by the universe itself, by the web of connection that binds all things together. You are not alone. You never were. You never will be. You are part of the cosmos, and the cosmos is part of you. And tonight, as you drift into sleep, the universe drifts with you, resting, breathing, being. Good night, friend. Sleep well, and know that you are, and always will be, a precious part of this vast, mysterious, beautiful cosmos. The stars are still shining, the galaxies are still spinning, time is still flowing, and you are still here, still breathing, still being. And that's enough. That's everything. Rest now. Let go. Drift away. The universe will hold you while you sleep, and tomorrow, when you wake, it will still be here, vast, beautiful, full of wonders, waiting to greet you again. But for now, just sleep, just rest, just be. You are loved by the cosmos, held by gravity, bathed in ancient starlight, and you are exactly where you're meant to be. Good night. Let's end with a thought about perspective. From down here, on the surface of Earth, the universe seems vast, and we seem small. We look up at the sky and see billions of stars, and it's easy to feel insignificant. But imagine if you could zoom out, far out, beyond Earth, beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxy. From that distance, you couldn't see Earth at all. You couldn't see the Milky Way as individual stars. You'd just see a faint glow, one galaxy among billions. And from even further out, even that would disappear. From the perspective of the universe as a whole, you are unimaginably small. But here's the thing. Small doesn't mean unimportant. A single atom is small, but it's essential. Without atoms, there would be no molecules, no chemistry, no life. A single photon of light is small, but it carries energy and information across the cosmos. You are small in space, but you are vast in complexity. Your brain contains more connections than there are stars in the galaxy. Your consciousness is one of the most complex phenomena in the known universe. You are small in time, living for decades in a universe billions of years old. But you are experiencing those decades. You are living them fully. And that experience is valuable beyond measure. Size isn't everything. Duration isn't everything. What matters is that you're here, now, experiencing this moment. And from your perspective, from the inside of your own consciousness, you are the center of the universe. Not in a selfish way, but in a simple, factual way. Your experience is the only one you have direct access to. Your perspective is the only one you can truly inhabit. So you matter infinitely to yourself. And that's not selfish. That's just true. You are the observer. You are the experiencer. You are the one who makes meaning out of the raw data of existence. Without you, the universe would be slightly less aware of itself. And that makes you important. Not in some grand cosmic sense, but in a personal, intimate, real sense. You matter to you, and that's enough. So rest now. Let your body relax. Let your mind drift. You've traveled far tonight, through time and space, through black holes and neutron stars, through quantum mysteries and cosmic expanses. You've seen that the universe is vast and strange and beautiful. And you've seen that you are part of it. A small part, yes, but a real part. A necessary part. You are made of stardust. You are held by gravity. You are bathed in ancient light. You are the universe, experiencing itself. And right now, the universe is tired. The universe wants to rest. So let yourself rest. Let yourself drift. Let yourself fall gently into sleep. There's no need to hold on. No need to stay awake. No need to think or worry or plan. The universe will keep turning. Time will keep flowing. Space will keep expanding. And you can let it all happen without you for a while. You can close your eyes. You can let go. You can trust that everything will still be here when you wake. The stars will still be shining. The galaxies will still be spinning. The cosmos will still be unfolding. And you will still be you. Rested, renewed, ready to experience another day. But that's tomorrow. That's the future. Right now, there's only this moment, this breath, this gentle drifting towards sleep. Let it happen. Let it come. Let it take you. You are safe. You are held. You are part of something so much larger than yourself. And as you drift away, remember, the universe is still unfolding. Time is still flowing. Space is still expanding. Light is still traveling. And you are part of it all. You always have been. You always will be. Good night, friend. Sleep well, and know that you are, and always will be, a precious part of this vast, mysterious, beautiful cosmos.